Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya wal Mursaleen. Wa ala ahli baytihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin al-ma'sumin. Siyama Mawlana baqiyatullahi fil ardeen. Ruhi wa arwahul alameen lahu al-fida. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri. واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوا على محمد وعلى The goal of religion, faith, is to establish a good relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing more than that. All we do wajibat, muharramat, we prevent ourselves from doing muharramat, we do mustahabbat, we do our regular deeds, we turn into, some kind of a deed where we can grab Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love to us. The goal is taqarrub. Taqarrub means closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we pray wajib salat, when we do Sawm, which is fasting, when we do Hajj, when we do Khum, Zakat, when we do, help our community, people, members of the community, the only niyat, the only intention we have in your mind is taqarrub. यानी खुदा के दरमियान और हमारे दरमियान जो राबिता है, जो वाजिबात हैं, जो मुहर्रमात से दूरी है, वो फ़कत तक़र्रुब के लिए है. We want to go close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if there's no intention of taqarrub, we are in trouble. All our amal is void. मैं नमाज पढ़ूँ to show off, to show my community, to show husband, wife, children, friends. This salat, this prayer is void. This is void. So taqarrub means going to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, becoming close, very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number one. How we can get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? As He wants from me, not as I want to go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. हमेशा अल्लाह की मर्जी चलेगी, वो जैसे कहता है वैसे चीज़ें होंगी. And He says do like this, do like that, do like this. That is the main thing. So we all have to emphasize on one thing. Somehow we have to learn what Allah wants from us to do. What Allah wants from us. He says do namaz like this, do fasting like this, do khums like this, do hajj like this, do jihad like this, do khair like this. What He considers khair, in a good deed, we have to perform as His wish, as He wants from us. This is a simple thing. अपनी मर्जी से हमें कुछ नहीं करना है, क्योंकि मेरा दिल ये चाहता है मैं ये करूँगा. This is not allowed. What Allah wants, that is correct. So number two, after niyat of taqarrub, is we have to learn the path of taqarrub to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the path of taqarrub? How we can get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Usually Urafa and Awliya says there's two things. Number one is called ma'rifah. Ma'rifat means in Urdu and Farsi you say shinakh. If you gather all the informations about someone as much as you can, this is called ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Gather all information about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. जो कुछ आप जान सकते हैं अल्लाह के बारे में वो जानना पड़ेगा. जो कुछ आप जान सकते हैं, whatever you can know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, go about reading Quran, make a list. What is Tawheed? Why Allah sent all those prophets? What message He was trying to convey us? This is the thing. All those Anbiya, 124,000 Nabi, didn't came to just live their life and say goodbye and they're gone. No. They came for some purpose. There was a purpose. Anbiya क्या लेकर आए थे हमारे लिए? What have they brought for us? क्या लेकर आए थे हमारे लिए? This is the big question. How can we hold the knowledge of that purpose? How we can know that? Only simple one thing. Read Quran. Every day read Quran. From a small surah. And I always suggest have your own copy of Quran in English. Or if you can, buy a couple of the copies, few translations. I can give you few names after the majlis, and then buy those copies, keep those copies among you. Every day read your book. If you want to see my Quran, I have brought my Quran with me. You have to come the house home and I'll show you. It's full of sketchy things, red line, yellow line, all those things. Don't worry. Sketch your Quran. Put your questions in the sides. Why is this ayah saying this? Why this? What is the reason Allah is saying that? Fill your Quran with the questions. When you see good ayat means there is a hope after that, hope of Jannah. Put some like yellow color on it. If you see some curses in Quran, Allah says, if you do this bad things, do that bad things, I will punish you. Put some red color on it. Make your own list out of each surah. In Surah Ibrahim, how many promises of Allah for heaven and how many promises of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for hell. Make your own list. Start making your own list from Quran. And after a few months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, depends how much time you spend on reading and writing your own notes on Quran, you will become a beautiful scholar of Quran. And now you know everything. You don't have to sit down here and wait for next year Muharram is coming and then someone is coming and going to tell me what. No. Shahid Baqir Sadr Rizwanullah alayhi, he said a beautiful thing. He said, when you go to Quran, your mind has to be full of good questions. जब हम कुरान के सामने जाएं तो हमारे जहन में हजारों अच्छे सवाल होने चाहिए. अच्छे सवाल होने चाहिए. Have you ever thought about it? If you go to visit some grand scholar in Najaf, Karbala, why they don't have time for you? Why? If you want to see Ayatullah, some Ayatullah in Najaf, in Karbala, in Qom, Tehran, Isfahan, all you can see for a second, salam alaikum, bye bye. Not more than this. Why? Why? Because we don't have questions. If we don't have questions, why should I waste their time? But if you have really good questions, and if you have written like 2, 3, 4, 5 books, and then if you go to see the scholar, he will give you some good time. Come and sit with me for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Let's discuss. You have studied a lot. You have wrote a book. That means it proves that your brain is full of knowledge and questions. Always your knowledge produce more questions. So at least you have to elevate yourself to some level. Then your mind is full of questions. Then you're ready to grab ma'rifah. When you go to see some scholar, they say, okay, this is my book, this is my book, this is my book. Okay, come and sit down with us. Let's talk together now. Because your brain, you're going to ask good questions. You are not going to ask by the age of 50, 60, how to do mas and how to do wuzu and how to wash my hand and how to do Qul Allah and Alhamdulillah namaz. No, these questions are at the age of 10 and 12. Not after that. In the age of 30, 40, 50, 60, you have to ask very good high level questions. But we don't have that question in our mind. The reason is because we are not connected to the source of knowledge. We are not connected. So how we can connect ourselves? Buy a copy of your Quran, buy your own Nahjul Balagha in home, in English version, and buy a copy of Saifa Sajjadiyah, a good translation from a Shia scholar. His name is Dr. William Chittick. Very good English translation. Dr. William Chittick. Buy 3 copies of Nahjul Balagha, Quran, and Saifa Sajjadiyah. Start reading them and make your notes on it. Make your notes. Once I was in Texas, a lady came to me. She said, Sheikh, I have some questions from you. I said, okay, let's go. What's your question? She said, let me open my Quran. And when she opened her Quran, I was shocked. It looks to me like this Quran is like 1,000 years old. She have eaten that Quran. Everywhere lines and lines and lines and marks and colors and highlight. That's how we have to have our copy of Quran. Some of us, we haven't bought it yet. How are we going to relate ourselves with Quran? with godly knowledge. So we have to have our own copy of Quran. Mummy is your copy, Baba is your copy, this is my copy, don't touch it. No takallufat. This is my copy, don't touch it. You want to read Quran? Buy your own, or I'll get for you one. But don't touch mine. Don't mess up my readings. Don't mess up my notes. When you are done with this part and you see a scholar, then you are not going to ask, where I have to do masa here and masa here or masa here or masa here or masa here. No. Then you will ask really some nice, good questions. Nice, good questions. Number one, if you want taqarrub from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you have to go through ma'rifat, deep knowledge, good knowledge, enough sufficient knowledge. Read it. Read Quran. I just come once in a year, twice in a year, maybe 3 times in a year, just a few hours. And you listen my words, and after that you're going to listen to tons of people, and you will forget everything. But if you have your own knowledge in your mind by your own reading, from your own reading, and if you have points, you have some missing parts of the chain, I can give you that missing parts of chain. I can attach it, and you can say, oh, now this makes sense to me. Oh, now this makes sense to me. Now this makes sense to me because this was the missing part of this chain. But ma'rifat I cannot transfer to you. A great Western philosopher says, I don't want to bring his name up here. He says, I cannot give you knowledge. I can guide you to read, full stop. But knowledge is going to be yours. You have to generate your knowledge. Knowledge in Urdu we says, समझना. समझना खुद आपका काम है. मेरा काम है बताना, पढ़ाना, गाइड करना, किताब दिखाना. I can't put food in your stomach. You have to chew it. You have to eat it. But I can provide you food. And if you die out of hunger while there was a lot of food around you, how you answer Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because this sheikh did not put food in my mouth and he did not push my mouth to chew it. No, this is your job. Providing food is a scholar's job. This book, this hadith, this book, this hadith, that's how you do your wajibat. That's how. But you have to do your side. You have to take your food in your hand, you have to put your food in your mouth, and you have to chew it. And then swallow it. And then you will survive. I can give you books, names, authors, but you have to read by yourself. You have to read by yourself. I can give you answers in your Quranic questions. I can give you answers in your Quranic or Nahju Balagha answers, or you like in your Sayfa Sajjadiya questions. This is what Imam is trying to say. This is what Imam is trying to say. This is the Imam is trying to say. But I can bring all those knowledge exists in the book in your mind. ये मैं कर ही नहीं सकता. मैं आपको खाना दे सकता हूँ, खाना आपको खुद पड़ेगा, चबाना खुद पड़ेगा, पेट में खुद खाना ले जाना पड़ेगा. वो पार्ट आपका है. कम खाएं, ज़्यादा खाएं, आपकी मर्जी है. लेकिन मैं खाना प्रोवाइड कर सकता हूँ आपको. ये खाना है, ये गोश्त है, ये दाल है, सब्जी है, चावल है, ये that's it. Now eat your food. Even though your mother, she's not going to feed you all your life. She's going to feed you when you are naive, a very small, naive baby. But when you're strong, you have to eat your food. She says, this is your food, go and eat it. You have to eat your food. Your mother is helping you. She's providing you the sustenance and food. I can provide you the sustenance and food of your spirit, your soul. But you have to eat this food. You have to read those books. Ma'rifah means a good, enough, deep knowledge. Nobody can transfer this knowledge in your mind. Maybe in a couple of years ahead, Elon Musk can do that, and he can put some chip in your mind, and maybe we are not positive. We will see what happens. Maybe some problems will happen. I'm not so optimistic to these things. But in fact, it's not going to happen. Even though if you put some chip in your mind, you'll have the hard drive here, some like 2 terabyte, some data is stored here. But analysis आपको करनी पड़ेगी. कंक्लूजन आपको निकालना पड़ेगा. आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस कैन नॉट डू फॉर यू. एज अ ह्यूमन वी हैव टू एनालाइज थिंग्स. मारिफत का मतलब यह है कि मैं खुद जाऊं, किताब खोलूं, खुद इंडेक्स बनाऊं, खुद मैं पढ़ूं. मारिफत आपको लेक्चर से नहीं मिलती है. मारिफत आपको माँ से नहीं मिलती है, बाप से नहीं मिलती है. मारिफत आपकी अपनी चीज़ है. बाप किताब दे सकता है, कागज़ दे सकता है, पेन दे सकता है. माँ आपको बिस्तर से उठा सकती है, भाई उठो उठो उठो, sit down, read down something, this is time for you reading, do this thing, do that, read this book. But she cannot create, the mother cannot create ma'rifat for you. Father cannot create ma'rifat for you. Ma'rifat is your own. You have to process. Bring your own copy of Quran, bring your own copy of Najul Balagha, bring your own copy of Saifa Sajjadiyah, and start reading it. Start reading it, the translations, and you will have problems. I don't understand. This thing doesn't make sense to me. And then some scholar will remove your questions, clean your questions, answer your questions, fix your questions, fix your thoughts. दुनिया में कोई मारिफत आपको दे नहीं सकता है. मारिफत is only your. Marifat, according to Rawayat of Masumin, is a light, is a nur, which is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you read, and the conclusion is going from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will help you to understand according to your eagerness. If you, अगर आप वाक़अन जानना चाहते हैं, वाक़अन, हम लोग कल एग्ज़ाम है मेरा, मैं पढ़ता हूँ, I memorize things because I want to forget it next week. Exam is done, valueless, gone. लेकिन मारिफत ये नहीं है. If you seriously want to learn something, He will put that knowledge in your heart. Al-ilmu nurun yaqdhifuhu fi qalbi man yasha. Ilm, knowledge, wisdom, samajdari is a light. If Allah wants to put this thing in someone's heart, He will put it. If He wants. How can I make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He want, then He will to give it to me? मैं कैसे अल्लाह को मजबूर करूं? मजबूर तो खैर नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन मैं एक ताबीर कह रहा हूं. मैं कैसे परवरदिगार को कन्विंस करूं, काने करूं कि नॉलेज मुझे दे दे, समझ मुझे दे दे. मैं कैसे खुदा को कन्विंस करूं? मैं to show our optimism to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that I'm optimistic to Allah, I have hope in you, I love you. In Sahifa Sajjadiyah, in the very first dua, maybe in third, fourth, fifth paragraph, you see Allah says, I have created all you creations and I have put you in the path of my love. So you are already set in the path of love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're already set by nature, by default. By default, you're all set in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't lose that path. Make this path more stronger, more pure, more stronger, more pure. Every day, improve yourself. No one is going to help you. No YouTube, no television, no family, no mother, no father, no friends, no center, no masjid, no community. What else? Football, soccer, PS4. Oh, PS4. No PS4 is going to help you. You have to help yourself. You have to help yourself. Even though you live with Ayatollah Uzma Sayyid Khui, Ayatollah Uzma Sayyid Khomeini, they can't help you. Let me give you an example. How many people lived with Rasulullah? How many people kissed the hand of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam Ali salamullah alayhi? How many people hugged Amir al-Mu'mineen? How many people? They all lived by Rasulullah. They all lived by Amir al-Mu'mineen. They all lived by them. They all ate food with them. How many times? Lots of times. कितने लोगों ने खाना खाया मौला कायनात के साथ में? कितने लोगों ने नमाज पढ़ी? कितने लोगों ने गले लगाया रसूल खुदा को? कितने लोगों ने उनका हाथ मिलाया उनसे? कितने लोगों ने उनका हाथ चूमा? कितने सलमान बने? There is the question. कितने सलमान बने, कितने अम्मार बने, कितने अबूजर बने, कितने मिक़दाद बने, कितने मीसम बने, कितने बने मीसम, कितने बने अम्मार. So there's two group of people. A group of people हर दिन मौला से मिले, every day they met Imam Ali, every day pray behind him, every day they had food with them, every day hugged Imam Ali, right? उन्हें गले लगाया, उनसे हाथ मिलाया, मुस्कुराए, बात की, सलाम किया, सलाम का जवाब लिया. लेकिन कितने सलमान बने, कितने अम्मार बने, कितने मालिक अश्तर बने, कितने अबूजर बने. So the conclusion, if you go and shake hand with Imam Zaman alayhi salatu wasalam, let's say I say Imam Zaman is reappeared, Zuhur has happened, and now he's visiting his friends, let's say in Virginia, in Chicago, in Texas, and we all go to visit Imam Zaman alayhi salatu wasalam. Okay, Imam Zaman is in Texas, let's go and see him, and we shook hand with him. While I'm shaking his hand, is he going to transfer his marifat to my heart through his hands shaking? No, it's not going to happen. बहुत सारे लोगों ने इमाम अली के साथ हाथ मिलाया है, बहुत सारे लोगों ने इमाम हुसैन से हाथ मिलाया है, बहुत से लोगों ने इमाम हुसैन को सलाम अलैकुम कहा है, उन्होंने जवाब में कहा अलैकुम अस्सलाम. फिर क्यों नहीं बने सलमान, फिर क्यों नहीं बने अबूजर, फिर क्यों नहीं बने मिक़दाद, फिर क्यों नहीं बने अम्मार, फिर क्यों नहीं बने हबीब इब्न मज़ाहिर, क्यों नहीं बने ये लोग? फिर मुश्किल कहाँ पर है? हम जाते हैं करबला, हम जाते हैं नजफ़, हम जाते हैं कूफा, हम जाते हैं ज़री पकड़ते हैं, मशहद जाते हैं, नमाज़ पढ़ते हैं, ज़री पढ़ते हैं, वापस आते हैं, हम फिर वही इंसान होते हैं. चेंज क्यों नहीं आता है हमारे अंदर? फॉर द सेम रीज़न दे डिडंट चेंज. Those who met Amir al-Mu'minin, those who met Rasulullah, those who shook their hands, those who had food with them, but they never changed. So what is the criteria of change? Something else. Not shaking hands, not smiling with them, not praying behind them. It's all good. Pray with them, shake hand with them, eat food with them, hug them, kiss them. It's okay. You have to do that. If you love out of love, you have to do all those things. But this does not make you Salman and Ammar and a true follower of Ali ibn Abi Talib. So what is that? What make them a true follower? That is criteria. That criteria is ma'rifah. A true, deep knowledge of Ahlul Bayt. What they from, what they want from you. Why they lived among us, for what? हम लोग क्यों जाकर रह रहे थे मसलन मदीना में, मक्का में? चले जाते रोम, चले जाते स्पेन, चले जाते अफ्रीका, चले जाते उस ज़माने में हिंदुस्तान. उस ज़माने में हिंदुस्तान आज का यूरोप था. हिंदुस्तान आ जाते. अभी बांग्लादेश अलग नहीं हुआ था, पाकिस्तान अलग नहीं हुआ था, कोई मुश्किल नहीं थी. बड़ा अच्छा मुल्क था हिंदुस्तान. आके इंतजाम रहते, वहाँ पे मज़े की ज़िंदगी जीते. क्यों नहीं कहले बता? Why they did not move from Saudi Arabia, not Saudi, just Arabia, to some other land? Why? Because that was not the goal. वो हमारे दरमियान में थे लोगों को ट्रेन करने के लिए. Oh, they were here to train us. Train for what? Train to become like them, think like them, contemplate like them, make friendships like them, make enemyship like them. वो ये चाहते थे कि हम उनके जैसे बने, जैसे उनकी दोस्ती वैसे हमारी दोस्ती, जैसे उनकी दुश्मनी वैसे हमारी दुश्मनी. We have to become like them. What they love, we should love that. What they hate, we should hate that. That was the goal. That was the goal. This was not the goal. Oh, I lived with Imam Ali for 6 months and every day I prayed behind him. MashaAllah, I'm very good scholar. No. You prayed behind him 6 months, doesn't make you. No, doesn't make you some really good moment. No, this is not the criteria. If you love them, you will pray behind them. If you love them, you will eat with them. But for that, you have to become like them. A person who used to call himself friend of Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam. One day he said he saw Imam is going to fix his shoes somewhere. He said, let's come with you, Imam. I said, okay, let's come with me. And while he was moving with Imam, he looked behind to find his servant. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, he couldn't find his servant. So he was a little bit panicked. Where is my servant? And all of a sudden he saw him. While he saw him, he called him with a very bad word. He said, "Oh, son of the lady who this and that." Very bad word. Imam told him, Jafar Sadiq told him, "I used to think you are a good, pious moment. But with this sentence, I know you have no sense of piety. You know nothing about piety. Paki, taharat, gunah na karna. You have no knowledge of anything. How could you blame your servant's mother?" He said, "Yeah, Imam, I ransom on you. His mother, my slave's mother, is from India, and they're idol worshipper. They're mushrik and kuffar like that." Imam said, "Never say that. Never say that again. I thought you are a good mu'min, but today I came to know that you have no sense of iman and faith. Leave me." And Imam sent him away and never met him again. While he asked his forgiveness, Imam never met him again. इमाम ने कभी उसको माफ़ नहीं किया. रावी लिखता है कि मौत ने इन दोनों का अलग किया, यानी मौत तक फिर वो कभी इमाम से मिल नहीं सका उसके बाद. फिर इमाम कहते हैं, there is a marriage in every culture, in Christianity, in Judaism, in Hinduism, in Buddhism, in every culture and nation. How can you call someone this bad word? Even though he asked forgiveness, Imam said, "No, never come to me again. Just leave me." That how Imam was hurt. इतनी छोटी सी बात जो हमारी निगाह में, इमाम की निगाह में बहुत बड़ी बात थी ये. इमाम सादिक की निगाह में it was a big deal. It's not just a simple and small thing. Oh, by mistake happened something. Okay, let me, inshallah, we'll think later on. No, it's not like that. Imam was really hurt. How many mistakes we make like that? Do we repent? We have to do that. It's all, the problem is here. We have no ma'rifat. We have to increase our ma'rifat. Some certain level of ma'rifat we do have. But is that enough? Definitely not. Definitely not. The goal is something to become like Salman and Ammar. And Allama Hilli once asked from his son, "My son, what you want to be in future?" He was thinking like, "Baba, I think I want to become like you." In my words, he said, "You idiot, you're not going to become anything." "Baba, why?" I said, "I wanted to become a Jafar Sadiq, and this I become. If your goal is me, you're not going to be anything. So keep your goal high." "बाबा, मैं आपके जैसा बनना चाहता हूँ." "बुद्धू, तुम मेरे जैसे कभी नहीं बनोगे. तुम मेरे जैसे भी कभी नहीं बनोगे." "क्यों? मैं इमाम जाफर सादिक जैसा बनना चाहता था. जब मैं वो बनना चाहता तो मैं ये बना हूं. जब तुम्हारा गोल ही मैं हूं तो कुछ भी नहीं बनोगे." So we have to improve our marifah, and we have to utilize this marifah. Marifah is a lantern, is a nur, is a light in your heart. When you have that light in your heart, then your smile, you're eating, you're sleeping, you're making friendship, everything will change. Every marifat will affect every aspect of your life, and you can feel it. In a very young age, you will become really sincere for everything. You will really, but this is not going to happen by itself, by miracle. There's no such a miracle. There's no such a miracle. We have to study. We have to go through the books. We have to read words of Ahlul Bayt. That's the only goal. If we do study, if we read, if we contemplate on their sayings and hadiths and wisdoms, then this will hit. This is the part one. I just could explain today just about the marifat. Marifat is the main thing. But marifat is not the thing you just grab the marifat by thinking. No, we are not Buddhists. Just sit down under the tree and start meditation and say, "Okay, I'm receiving marifat." It's not going to happen. Even though to them it's not going to happen. Marifat doesn't drop from the trees. No. For marifat, you have to act. Your actions will improve your marifat. Your actions. Your actions will improve your marifat. That was the friend of Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, and he said that bad word to his slave's mother. His actions make him staying away from Imam, being away from Imam. His actions, his actions. उस आदमी के एक जुमले ने उसे इमाम सादिक से हमेशा के लिए अलग कर दिया, हमेशा के लिए अलग कर दिया, हमेशा के लिए. अगर कोई सच्चा मोमिन होता तो हार्ट अटैक से मर जाता इस गम से कि मेरी गलती से इमाम ने मुझे अलग कर दिया हमेशा के लिए. अगर कोई सच्चा मोमिन होता उसका दिल फट जाता, वो मर जाता. अलग हो गया वो, अलग हो गया वो आदमी. इमाम सादिक से अलग हो गया हमेशा के लिए. His actions made him separated from Imam. And the action of Hur made the closest companion to Imam Hussein, Hur, who was much far away from Imam, miles and miles away. He used to work in Yazid's army, in Yazid's department, totally with the tyrant of the time, in a different world. People there, food there, family there, everything totally different than Imam Hussein. But just one word, I cannot disrespect you because you are son of Fatima Zahra. Just one word made him Babul Hawaij, made him Babul Hawaij. One word. And that's Sahabi of Imam Jafar Sadiq, by saying with one word to his servant's mother who used to live in India. She was not a Muslim. Imam said, leave me and never come to me again. Actions. Our ma'rifah, true deep knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will come through our actions. Inshallah, we'll talk tomorrow about actions. How many minutes I have, Brother Taha? 2 more minutes? This is for you, 2 minutes, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So if we want to improve our ma'rifah in just 2 minutes, I'll repeat my message again. You might don't see me tomorrow. You might see, you might don't. You don't know. I might die tonight, I might don't. You don't know. अगर मैं कल मजलिस पढ़ने ना आऊँ और आज मेरी रात में मौत हो जाए, this message should not go astray. You should keep the words in your mind. All I can do, I can show you a torch. You're moving around in darkness and I have a torch. I can say, okay, I'm going to turn a torch on you. Okay, pass by this road, pass by this bridge. But I cannot move your feet. You have to move your feet. I can show you torch. I cannot make you stand up. खुद आपको उठना पड़ेगा, आपको जूते पहनने पड़ेंगे, आपको चलना पड़ेगा उस मुश्किल से बाहर आने के लिए. I can show you the torch. All maraje, all ulama, not the crooks. I'm talking about the who? Ulama, not the crooks. They do business in the whole year. When the Muharram Ramzan come, they put their hat and their sherwani and they go, okay, let's go business. 2 months. No, I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about scholars. Only scholars show you the path. But they are just like torch. They show you torch. They put light under your feet and just move on. But you have to stand up. You have to wear shoes. You have to move. This is your side. This is your side. Ahlul Bayt always say, this is my hand. Take my hand, come to me. From Makkah to Karbala. Just 2-3 minutes masab and I will finish this majlis inshallah. Because Salah time is very close. Imam Hussein बहुत सारे लोगों से मिले थे रास्ते में. Imam Hussein met a lot of people from Makkah and Medina to Karbala. Lots of people. He met a lot of people. And he gave talk to all of them. Very exposed about himself, who I am. I said, this khilafah, this leadership has to be us, has to be mine. I am the leader. I am the son of Rasulullah. People tricked us. You people tricked us. How come you people? Some people tricked us and you helped them with your silence. Saqifa के बाद अमीर al-Mu'minin और जनाब फातिमा ज़हरा इमाम हसन इमाम हुसैन के हाथ पकड़ के सहाबियों के घर पर आए थे कि तुमने क्यों खयानत की, वाई यू betray us, you supposed to be with us, why you give vote in Saqifa to those people. They said, yeah, you know, business, oh, my job, their relation, their अम्मी के फूफा के चाचा के रिश्तेदार हैं सारे, ये कराची वाले हैं, इलाहाबाद वाले हैं, बम्बई वाले, दिल्ली वाले हैं, सब अपने लोग थे, कैसे इनके साथ में झगड़ा करते हैं. सकीफ़ा के बाद अहले बैत के साथ में खियानत. रात में इमाम अली जनाब ज़हरा लोगों के घर पे गए हैं, बाहर आओ, तुमने क्यों खयानत की हमारे साथ में. ओ मौला अब तो हो गया, अब क्या बताएं कौन लड़े इनसे, हम अच्छे लोग हैं, सबको मिला के चलते हैं, मुनाफिक और मोमिन सब साथ में चलते हैं हमारे. ओह, ये नया दीन है माशाअल्लाह, ये नया दीन है, हम सबको लेके चलते साथ में, मोमिन मुनाफिक काफिर मुशरिक जासूस सब अंदर है माशाअल्लाह, सब ठीक है, एकदम सही है. ऐसे चलता है, ऐसे चलता है. कौन सा दीन छोड़ दिया अली इब्न अबी तालिब को. मदीने से लेकर मक्के से लेकर करबला तक Imam Hussein gave a lot of talk and exposed about his mission. Some people जैसे इमाम don't go there, वहाँ जाने से उतनी झगड़ा होगा, लड़ाई होगी, खून बहेगा, आपकी जान जाएगी. No problem. If this is the way in the ideology of Bani Umayyah, there was no power to ask any question from the Khalifa. You just have to follow them blindly, full stop. Imam Hussein broke this law. He cancelled this law. You have to ask. बनी उमैया की हुकूमत में आप सवाल नहीं पूछ सकते खलीफा से, जो खलीफा कहेगा वही हक है, वही दीन है, वही करो, बस फुल स्टॉप. नो क्वेश्चंस, नो क्वेश्चंस. हम कहते हैं ना, अगर खलीफा गलत करेगा, गलत करेगा, खलीफा हटेगा, दूसरा खलीफा आदिल खलीफा आएगा. इस राह से इमाम पहुंचे हैं करबला, सबको बताते हुए करबला पहुंचे हैं. रास्ते में ख़त लिखते हैं हबीब को, हबीब मैं तुम्हारा मुंतज़िर हूँ. हबीब आते हैं करबला की तरफ, करबला पहुँचते हैं. हैरत की बात है, जनाब ज़ैनब खुश होती हैं, ओह हबीब आ गए. In this aloneness, now Habib is here as a good old friend, is a great warrior, is a great scholar. Imam Hussein used to call him Faqih, Faqih. Imam is calling to Habib. We have to turn like Habib, we have to become like Habib. हबीब पहुँचे करबला, जनाब ज़ैनब कहती हैं अपनी कनीज़ से कि जाके हबीब को मेरा सलाम कहो कि हबीब आप आ गए, हमें खुशी हो रही है, हमें क़ुव्वत मिल गई है. जनाब हबीब अपना अमामा ज़मीन में फेंकते हैं कि ये कैसी घड़ी आ गई है अहले बैत के ऊपर की, मेरे आने के ऊपर अहले बैत की खुशी हो रही है, आपका ग़ुलाम आया खिदमत में आपकी. इस कदर अहले बैत मज़लूम थे, इस कदर अहले बैत मज़लूम है कि सैदानिया मुझे हबीब को सलाम कहें, हमें आपको सलाम कहना चाहिए. वी हैव टू गिव यू सलाम, वी हैव टू ऑनर यू, वी आर इन योर सर्विस. Why you become happy? Because this aloneness. दुनिया वालों ने अहले बैत को अकेला छोड़ा हुआ था. हबीब कहते हैं हम आपके साथ में, हबीब थे, मुस्लिम थे. इमाम हुसैन ने कहा खेमे यहाँ लगेंगे, यहाँ जनाजे गिरेंगे, यहाँ अली अकबर गिरेंगे, यहाँ अली असगर शहीद होंगे. सब पता था इमाम हुसैन को, किसी को खौफ न था, हबीबियों को, हुसैनियों को, अब्बासियों को, किसी को खौफ न था. सयअलमुल लज़ीना ज़लमू अय्या मुनक़लिबिन यन्क़लिबून, इन्ना लिल्लाहि व इन्ना इलैहि राजिऊन. परवरदिगार बेहक मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद हमारी इस मुख्तसर से अज़ा को कबूल फरमा. परवरदिगार तुझे वास्ता है मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद का जो मरीज़ है मुश्किलात में, उनकी मरीज़ी व मुश्किलात को बरतरफ फरमा. परवरदिगार तुझे वास्ता है मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद का जो मुहताज है उनकी हाजात को बरतरफ फरमा. परवरदिगार तुझे वास्ता है मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद का इमाम का ज़ुहूर जल्द अज़ जल्द हो और हम सब उनके बेहतरीन आवान व अंसार में शुमार हों. व आखिरु दअवाना अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन. मातम हुसैन.
औज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम. बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम.